My Western Conference predictions: the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Rockets, the Clippers, the Timberwolves. The Thunder are the NBA champions, and this offseason, they brought back everybody that contributed to their championship team. They re-signed Shea to an insane extension. They also re-signed Jalen Williams and also Chet Holmgren. The Thunder remains the team to beat for this upcoming season. Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets remain also a team to beat in the West, because they have Nikola Jokic on the roster. But this offseason, they've made a lot of off-the-radar moves to really advance their roster and bring shooting around Nikola Jokic. The Nuggets' overall depth has increased mightily, and they're going to be a top team in the West every year Jokic has a good team around him. The Lakers made a lot of off-season moves as well to give LeBron James and especially Luka Doncic help. Bringing in DeAndre Ayton was the big move in the buyout market. They also got Marcus Smart from the buyout market too. The Lakers roster finally feels complete, and they're going to be competing again in potentially LeBron's last year in LA. I know the Rockets were the second seed in last year's NBA standings, but the reason why I'm dropping into number 4 is because I still believe at the beginning of the season, they're going to kind of figure out things with Kevin Durant. And then once they mesh, they're going to be an unstoppable offensive force in the West and secure a top 4 seed in the West. Kevin Durant's going to be a top scorer in the league, and I believe a lot of eyes are going to be on Amen Thompson as a potential Most Improved Player award winner. The Clippers at number 5 also makes a lot of sense to me because, of course, this offseason, they've revamped and brought in so much veterans to the team that now they have a deep team all the way to the 12th player. James Harden remains with the team. Kawhi Leonard, of course, is the superstar player, and if he can stay healthy, the Clippers are going to succeed. But getting Chris Paul from open free agency and getting Bradley Beal from a buyout, the Clippers are the X factor of the West. If their roster somehow works well with all the vets, they're going to be unstoppable. The Timberwolves basically stayed steady this offseason. They basically are bringing back the same roster around Anthony Edwards, so of course, I don't see them improving, but at the same time, because of their chemistry and how good the roster is constructed, they're probably going to stay at the 6th seed. They're definitely going to be a playoff team, and Anthony Edwards could even be in the MVP conversation this year. Stay tuned because Ant needs to show the NBA that he is the new face of the league, and this is the season he has to prove it. Here are my Western Conference play-in predictions. Number 7, the Warriors, the Spurs, the Mavericks, the Blazers. The Warriors are a solid team with Steph and Jimmy Butler, but they've also didn't really improve this offseason to advance their roster. They were one of the most quiet teams this summer, and of course their roster basically looks the same, and they've also lost some key players from their rotation. The Warriors will make the playoffs, and they could surprise us in the playoffs. They're that good, but of course with their roster construction basically being steady, I'm putting them in the play-in tournament. The Spurs are ready to make a big jump this year. I believe when Victor Wembanyama comes back, they're going to be ready for another season with De'Aaron Fox as the starting point guard. But now with Wemby fully healthy, the Spurs are going to surprise us and make the playoffs for the first time with Victor Wembanyama on the roster. At number 9, I got the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks are a great team, and of course, remember, they drafted Cooper Flagg at number 1. So of course, a lot of attention is going to be on the Dallas Mavericks, and Anthony Davis is going to play as better as ever. But the problem is Kyrie Irving's injury rehab. We're not even sure if he's going to return this season. It might be best for the Mavericks to focus on them being better at the start of next season instead of this season, which is why I believe they actually might be missing the playoffs this year. Then I put the Blazers at number 10. I believe this team is on the rise. The young core of the Portland Trail Blazers is going to really have a year to develop at a high level. And then next season, when Damian Lillard returns to the rotation and of course the starting lineup, that's when the Blazers are really going to get back into playoff contention. I'm really excited for the young core of the Blazers to prove themselves again in this upcoming season, and it's a bold prediction that they're going to surprise a lot of us. And then of course the rest of the standings, I got the Grizzlies, the Kings, the Suns, the Pelicans, and the Jazz. Big shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring the channel. Easy Buckets family, if you want to get cheap tickets to go to a basketball game, you have to get your cheap tickets on SeatGeek because they have the best tickets anywhere. And then of course on checkout, be sure to use my discount promo code EasyBuckets with an S at the end to get an extra $20 off your first purchase. The cheap tickets that you found just got cheaper on checkout with my discount code. Here are my East predictions: the Cavaliers, the Knicks, the Magic, the Pistons, the Bucks, the Hawks. We all know how good the Cavaliers were last season, and they're basically going to do the same this season. Hopefully, they can get over the hump in their playoff performance and be better than they are in the playoffs and be as good as they are in the regular season. The team looks the same around Donovan Mitchell, and of course they even brought in Lonzo Ball, so their defense got a lot better. The Cavaliers are gonna fly by in the East. The Knicks are also gonna be a team to beat in the East. Once again, they made it to the conference finals last season, and I see them actually potentially going all the way to the finals this season. The Orlando Magic brought in Desmond Bane. That's gonna make the team better offensively and of course help their guard situation. But I'm expecting a huge jump from Paolo Banchero to get in that MVP conversation this upcoming season and to lead the Orlando Magic back to the top of the East since all the way back to the Dwight Howard days. I love the Detroit Pistons and what Cade Cunningham is doing with that team. If they continue to build around Cade Cunningham, by next season or the year after, they could be the best team in the Eastern Conference. And that's simply because Cade is a prime time player, a once in a generational player, especially in an Eastern Conference that isn't as competitive. I put Giannis and the Bucks at number 5, simply because Giannis is one of the best players in the NBA. They just need the young backcourt players to play good defense and let Giannis run the show. I'm giving Trae Young and the Hawks that 6th seed because they've actually advanced their roster this offseason. They brought in Kristaps Porzingis as their new starting center. They also stole Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the Timberwolves. The Hawks' defense got better, their size got better, and Trae Young wants to compete in the East. Here are my East play-in predictions: the 76ers, the Raptors, the Heat, the Pacers. If Joel Embiid returns from his knee surgery healthy, the 76ers are going to be back in the playoff picture. I'm putting them lower simply because they're going to be dealing with the Paul George injury to start off the season. But if they can put it together and get their health together by the end of the regular season, they could be a surprise X factor in the East this upcoming year. I have high expectations for the Raptors this season too, because they're finally gonna play with Brandon Ingram. The Raptors have the depth to do great things in the East. And then we got the Bulls, the Celtics, the Hornets, the Nets, the Wizards. We all know about the Boston Celtics situation. I don't have to explain much on that. So these are my insane bold predictions for the 2025-26 NBA season. I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let's get a chat going in the comments below. But Bronny James's career is about to change forever because he just proved to the world that he can ball in Summer League. He was fantastic, and we just made a video talking about his future role with the Lakers, so you gotta check it out. But other than that, take it easy, God bless. See y'all next time on Easy Buckets. Peace.